Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am R.C. Blakes, and I have a few minutes before I have to leave to go and catch my plane. And I had not talked to you all, to my YouTube audience, my family rather, for a while. And hopefully, this hotel connection is decent enough for me to do this. Good morning, good morning. I just wanted to come on for a few minutes and just kind of take some questions if you guys have any. Hello, greetings from Germany. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I love you. Thank you, thank you. Boy, look at all of the good mornings. Yes, please share and invite. Thank you, Harold, and I appreciate it so much. Are there any questions about anything that maybe you've been wanting to ask me? Hi, Pastor, all the way from South Africa. Awesome. Ohio, good morning. Where are you headed to next? I'm headed to New Orleans today. I'm in Philadelphia now, and I'm on my way to New Orleans uh, right now. In fact, I'll be in our worship service tonight. Good morning. You guys are coming in from everywhere. Everywhere. Thank you so much for coming in. Don't forget that we are going to have Queenology here in Philadelphia in July. I'm not certain if it's completely sold out or not. You can check at rcblakes.com. So sorry I missed you in Las Vegas. Do you have advice for single mother raising boys? Yes, I do. And what I would say to a single mother raising boys, it's it's um, it kind of goes against the nature of a mother, and that is the nature of a mother is to be what? Tender, kind, nurturing, caring, and you have to be all of those things because you are mother. But there's a point in raising a single boy that a mother has to take the responsibility of holding him accountable because that paternal, that fatherly presence is absent. And so he has to have, every boy has to have accountability. There has to be a demand put upon a young man for him to develop in the best way. And so put him in environments where sports. Of course, check these places out because you have a lot of pedophiles that deal with situations that involve children. But sports, organized activities where he's going to be held accountable, where he's going to be under supervision, where he's going to get a chance to embrace and socialize in terms of men, teaching him the characteristics and the principles of a great man while he's young. Teach him faithfulness to a woman. Teach him how to take care of a woman. Teach him that a man has to have a work ethic. Give him jobs rather than just giving him money. Give him a job to do around the house and give him an allowance based on that. Allow him to open doors for you. Teach him to respect his sisters if he has any. Give him a strong, spiritual foundation as best you can. And just train him to be everything that you know he should be. These are the things that his father should have done, but mothers are well able to do it as well. In the Bible, there's a king by the name of Lemuel whose mother taught him and trained him to be a king. So it is possible for a woman to train her son to be a king. Be encouraged and, just stay positive and stay focused and don't spend all of your time lamenting the fact that his father may not be in his life for whatever reason. Maybe he's just absent, maybe he's passed, or whatever. Whatever reason he's not in his life, you can't use your energy worrying about that. You got to put your energy positively into thrusting your son into his best future. I'm struggling to move on emotionally from a very handsome man that only wants to sleep with me. I turned him down, but honestly wish he wanted more. He doesn't, and you got to accept that. You got to accept that he does not. He's using you, and you're better than that. You're worth more than that, and it's not going to change until you see it for what it is. He's using you, and you're not going to like yourself in the end. And a man like this that you're sexually attracted to can really use up all of your youth, use up all of your life. And it's on you to recognize your worth, know your value, and demand more. You're not you're more than you're more than a booty call. You're somebody's wife, but that husband will never find you as long as you have your life preoccupied with a clown. And that's what you're dealing with right here, is a clown. The king that God has for you will never find you because he won't identify you, because you're living outside of your character. And this may be a hard truth, but it's one you need to hear. He's using you, he's abusing you. He has you living far beneath your value and your worth. And nothing's going to change until you become righteously indignant about the fact that this person is blatantly disrespecting you. Recently broke up with my ex because we were not on the same page spiritually. I love him, but we keep falling into sexual sin even after breaking up. Should I cut him off? Is this a soul tie? Of course it is. It is a soul tie. And not to say that it may not work out in the future, but right now I think you have to put some distance between this, because it's like breaking a drug addiction. When a soul tie is sexual, it's just like breaking a drug addiction. Sex is as addictive, or maybe even more addictive. I'm looking at my clock. Maybe even more addictive than cocaine or crack or whatever the drug of choice is today. And the only way to break out of the thing is you have to put some distance. When you're dealing with a narcissist, they call it no contact. And you have to go no contact to regather yourself, you have to starve that flesh. You have to go cold turkey. There's no 12-step plan. You have to go cold turkey, and you have to get that flesh under control. Because as it stands now, this has you miserable. Because this is not, you're living beneath your own standards. And so you're miserable as a consequence of these actions. And so you really need to clear the air, clear your head, so that you all can really see one another. Because right now, you guys are kind of feeding off of each other, and you're holding each other back. And in terms of him being spiritually less mature, he'll never grow up as long as you guys are engaging in this kind of thing. How do you discern a blessing and a trap from the enemy? Finally caught you. How do you discern a blessing and a trap? Well, whatever gives you peace, things that come from the enemy that look good, you still don't have a peace in your spirit about it, So if the Bible says follow peace with all men. If you don't have a peace about it, let the peace of God rule in your heart. Doesn't matter how good it may look. Traps look good. They look like blessings, but if you don't have a peace about it, and don't rush into anything, pray about everything, take your time, discern, and allow the Holy Spirit to speak to your heart. And that's the main thing I would say. I just can't enjoy life. It is torture since my husband abandoned us. We are struggling financially. I'm too depressed to clean, cook, anything but go to work. I'm scared. We always have car trouble. Well, these things that you're describing are the realities of life. I just talked to a young lady last night who's one of my spiritual daughters here in this Philadelphia area, and she's dealing with the same thing. And millions of other people are dealing with the same thing. But a few things we know for certain. You're not going to arrive at a positive place with a negative outlook on life. We do know that. That if you have a negative outlook on life, and if you wake up every day and it's me, woe is me, and the world is caving in on me, nothing good is going to find you. The energy that you put out into the world is what's going to come back to you. So we know, number one, you got to shift that. Now, whatever that means, that may mean counseling, that may mean meditation, that may mean whatever it means to get you back to center, where you stop bemoaning the circumstances that you could not control, and you begin to take control of the things you can. Right now, what you're saying to me is that a lot of things have happened to me that I can't control. So I'm letting them drain the energy out of me so that I can't do the things I can control. I'm going to allow my history to sabotage, to abort my destiny. My history, a lot of that I wasn't responsible for. My destiny, I'm completely responsible for, but I'm going to let the history destroy the destiny. That doesn't make sense, and you got to forgive this guy, and forgiving him doesn't mean that you don't hold him responsible for what he's done, but it does mean that you let him go so that you can move forward. You don't even talk about him. It doesn't matter. He abandoned you. It is what it is. You have the ability to push and pull this family forward, but you got to regather yourself. You got to regather yourself, and you got to get your faith back on point. You got to get your vision back on point. You got to get your energy right. I'm with a man 10 years older than myself. He is negative, doesn't want to talk about anything spiritual. He is financially supportive to me and my children. He's negative about everything. Well, I don't think you're really asking a question. I think you're just venting, and what you're venting is not God's best for you. What you're venting is not God's best for you. And I would say this, as I would say to all. I'm not saying that you are in this position, but never put yourself as a woman in a position where you're financially dependent on any man. If a man proves to be financially supportive, great. If he doesn't, great. So I'm hoping that you're not in a position where you're depending on this man's finances, and that's why you sit in there taking this emotional abuse every day. You don't need an old, angry, bitter man, in your life and influencing your children. You just don't need that. I have a Baptist background, and my son's father is a Seventh-day Adventist. He's also 16 years my senior, and believes that our son should be a Seventh-day Adventist, and I should come because he's head. These are the kinds of things you should discuss prior to. You didn't say you were married to him. You didn't say you were married to him. And I'm assuming that you are. But these are the kinds of things that you should discuss prior to marriage. And, I'm careful to answer this question. And this is not a rule or law for anybody else, but this is how I handle it at our church. We have people that are part of our church who have spouses that are elsewhere. We have men that are in our church who have spouses that are elsewhere, because they feel like those other places speak to them spiritually. And in some cases in the church, we say, well, it doesn't work unless the two are under the same roof. Not always so. And, I don't know much about Seventh-day Adventists, but I do believe that they believe that Jesus Christ is Lord. I think they do. I know the Baptists do, because I am a Baptist. So if you were part of our congregation, I would say to him, as long as your wife is under the word, and if she's being fed spiritually, and you all meet in the home, in the family, moving in the same direction spiritually, that's all that really matters. Now, sometimes a man's preference is that his family is with him, and I get that. I really do understand that. But I think I would understand if my wife and I were laypersons and she said, I want to go to this church because it really speaks to me. I think I could get it, and I would understand it, and I would be able to accept it. But don't break if you're married. Now, if you're not married, there's nothing to really discuss. But if you're married, don't destroy your house over something like this. If he's a good husband, and if he's a kind and biblical husband, don't destroy your house over this. Come up with some kind of compromise. Maybe you can go to church with him X amount of weeks, or Saturdays, I think it is, or whatever it is. And, maybe go to your church for Bible study or something like that. Find a compromise. Don't let a good thing, it's a good problem to have, in other words, that both of you all are in the Lord, and the issue is just that where are we going to worship physically? So that would be my thing. All right. Okay. All right. What do you do when the child's father meet his doesn't want you to meet his girlfriend and a family and our family? Wait a minute. I'm taking it you have a child. What do you do when the child's father doesn't want you to meet his girlfriend and our family members? Um, mm, why would you need to meet the girlfriend and the girlfriend's family? I'm assuming that you're the mother. You had the child by the man. Now the man has a girlfriend who has a family, and you want to meet the girlfriend and her family. Um, I mean, I could understand you maybe wanting to meet the girlfriend if the girlfriend is going to be an influence over your son. But the family, does the child spend a lot of time with the family? How is this working? Um, yeah, you probably need to email me on that one because I don't want to mislead you because I don't understand exactly what you're asking. I know I should be paying my tithes. Feel bad that I haven't in a while. My heart wants to give my tenth, but I also want to save for my business to get out of 9 to 5 ASAP due to stress. What should I do? I think you should use your faith. And when you start talking about paying tithe, I don't want you to look at it from a legal. I think I'm going to have to leave y'all. They're calling for me. As if you're going to go to hell if you don't pay your tithe, or God's going to cause something adverse to happen to you if you don't pay your tithe. Tithing is God's invitation to you to participate in a covenant where he says, if you do this, I'll do that. I'll bless you. I'll open the windows of heaven and I'll pour it out upon you that you won't have room enough to receive. I want you to view it from that perspective. And then when you view it from that perspective, then I want you to use your faith and say, God, okay, now I'm going to trust you. I'm going to test you and I'm going to try you like you asked me to do in Malachi. And then watch the hand of God do in your life what only God could do, but not as the consequence of legalism or religious oppression, but just out of faith in your relationship with God. And get back to it as soon as your faith allows you. Get back. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna have to go. They keep buzzing my phone, so I got to go. I love you. I just wanted to spend some time with you, just answering some questions, and I promise I'll do this more. All right? I promise I'll do it. I wish I had time to spend a little more time with you, but I want you to have a great day. Thank you so much. I want you to have a great day. God bless you.